What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. I prefer just Keith. Professor Keith's been a long-running joke. You guys actually think I'm a professor, you're retarded. Look behind me. I'm a Panthers fan. I'm a Tar Heels fan. And I'm an everyday guy just like you guys. I bang around on the drums every once in a while. I like watches, and I also like the Braves. Yeah, Professor Keith was a long-running joke. Someone started calling me that way back in 2020 when I taught someone who thought they knew it all, a little something, and it's stuck. It's been that way since. So, nonetheless, glad to see you here. Final stream, 2025. Boy, what a year. Can we talk about it a little bit? I think we should. If you haven't done so, do me a solid. Please. Welcome to Crypto Before Dark. Please go hit like. It costs absolutely nothing. Subscribe while you're there, because a large majority of you guys who watch either don't follow on X, don't follow on Rumble, or don't subscribe on YouTube. So go subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything along the way. I have in front of us the Bitcoin yearly chart. What do we see? Well, we see a red candle. The first time that the post-halving year for Bitcoin has gone red in Bitcoin's history. Of course, that happened in 2025 when I thought we would have the biggest year in crypto history. And I don't just mean Bitcoin history, I mean crypto history. Coming off of the bull run that we had last time, expected a lot more from the market this time. And what do we get? Well, we got 99% failure across the board. And that doesn't matter whether it was Bitcoin, whether it was high cap altcoins like XRP or Solana or Chainlink or AVAX. There were some outliers, mainly in the notes there. Tron had a hell of a bull run. Binance Coin had a hell of a bull run. Zcash, ZEC, hell of a bull run. And, along the way, we like to try to blame that on this or blame that on that. And a lot of what you'll hear is, well, that happened because you don't really know that. That's your opinion. That happened a lot this year. I had multiple things go wrong, and not just charts. I will get into that a little bit here before we get cracking, but I thought it was important to kind of have a big, 500-foot view of this, see what we see here, and kind of go down from there. So first, let's start on the Bitcoin yearly chart, which you see on the chart here in front of you. First time we've seen a red post-halving year. As I said before, halving was in 2024, and the year before that it was in 2020. Before that, 2016, and we had green years following those years every year after that. It didn't happen this time. Didn't happen this time at all. We had some green, but that green failed rapidly over the course of a few months, topped out on a rather weak topping out signal, and never really fully recovered. And as you see, we have 1 day and some change to go. And for what it's worth, in effort to see how much it would take, it looks like we would need about 7% growth here over the next day and couple hours for us to have a green year. Now, is it impossible that things go up from here? No. But what I will say is what you see right here is a spinning top formation. A spinning top formation is usually a sign of reversal. What does that mean? Well, it's when you have a doji at the top of an upward run like this, it shows weakness. It shows a potential slowdown or a potential reversal. Now, that doesn't mean immediate, but it does mean likely potential reversal. This has happened in the past with multiple other assets, and I got the Binance chart up here because I don't have anything drawn on it. But let me pull up one with a little bit more data. That's why I showed you this one. I didn't have anything on it. Here's one with a little bit more data. This has happened in the past. You had a similar pattern back here in 2014, but this was more of a tweezer candle. It was just a candle at the top of a run that closed and opened inside the last candle. Right? This was the last candle, this green one. And then this red candle here closed and opened inside of it. That's a order block candle. You can call it a tweezer, whatever. After that candle completed, you started your journey right back up. We had the same thing happen again up here. A few years later in 2018, similar story, tweezer candle, bigger, almost a bearish engulfing, but not quite. And then she reversed back up from there. Off she went. Then it got tricky. 2022, bearish engulfing. Not great. Not what you wanted to see going through 2022, but following along with Bitcoin's normal old standard pattern that it had of holding on to the uptrends, which it has done for a very, very long time. It immediately bullish engulfed. Very nice. And took over right back into its upward pattern again to where we are now, where we've hit this spinning top formation that very well could be a reversal back down signal. And some quick points of reference of where we may look at a yearly chart, which means this would take years to play out. A quick reference on that would be, I'm looking back toward 46,000 on a yearly chart. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to happen. Just saying that's the next support zone on a very, very wide time frame. I'm going to go down a couple time frames here. Amazing that I'm talking to 4 people. Boy, how far we have come. So it's worth, I haven't changed anything. I continue to do the same thing I always do. I analyze the top assets. There's no point in looking at a bunch of crazy altcoins because they all look bad. I did request streams. I changed times to better suit more people. And all we've seen was engagement go down and down and down. It's turned into a gambling world. People would rather go over to prediction markets and throw their money around than they would use charts or invest their money. It's more gambling now than ever. That's going to take some time to adjust, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So this is what we've got, and I've done what I've done for a really long time. I'm not going to stop now. So it's not about how many people I get to watch. It's about how many people who could help, how many people who could learn, how many people who could empower themselves with the knowledge to read a chart and do better for themselves. Just really didn't work out. So anyway, one of those little failures, you know what I mean? Anyway, looking back here, this is a 6-month chart. And you get a lot of the same reaction here from the 6-month chart. You had several 6-month candles in a row go up. Similar support zone back to about 46,000 there for a 6-month zoomed out view. These candles take a really, really long time to happen, only to a year. How about quarterly? That'd be every 3 months. Pay attention. All right, now quarterly is a little different. So we've already started to dig into one support up here around 90,000, and we have another one down here at around 71,000. Beyond that, you go down a little farther, 60,000 seems like a support area. Below that, 48,000 again. That's that shelf that you see right here. So those are some likely targets on the way back down if we continue this downward slide. Now here's where it gets interesting. 3-month is still over the 8 EMA, and so long as it's over the 8 EMA, it's much ado about nothing. In fact, it's likely that we'll see some sort of price action bouncing off of that 8 EMA again. How long that will take, hard to say. Again, it's 3-month candles, so it's going to take at least 120 days, 90 to 120 days to figure out here. That's the problem with you when you're zooming way out, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're getting a 500-foot view, and I get that. It's important to have, but it's going to take a really, really long time for things to change. How about a monthly chart? Here we are. So here's Bitcoin on the monthly. Things getting dicey, as you can see. So we haven't fallen in the wait a minute zone in quite a while. What is the wait a minute zone? Well, the wait a minute zone is the area between the green line and the purple lines that you see here. That's the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA. That range right through there is the wait a minute zone. Now, you're going to say, well, why do I call it the wait a minute zone? Well, it's an old school thing. I appreciate it, CryptoZen. Give us a repost and a like. Same thing, Jeremy. Give us a repost and a like. The reason we call it the wait a minute zone is, well, I kind of made that term up, but the area is what's more important. Wait a minute is the reference to the TV show Martin from the early 90s. Shanae used to say, wait a minute. Well, here we go. This is the area where we wait a minute. When we're in between the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA, we have some confirmation of a sell-off, but we aren't guaranteed, right? We have 2 closes coming up under the 8 EMA. That would be a signal to start selling some. The next signal would be 2 closes under the 21 EMA. That's another signal to start selling some. And then when you get that 821 downward cross, when the green line goes downward to the purple line, well, that's really the full-on bailout signal. But as you see, that's not even close to happening yet. Now, the last time this happened was all the way back in 2021, in the summer of 2021, when we had 2 closes under the 8 EMA on the monthly chart. After that, it bounced up very aggressively and actually made a new high. We didn't get a close underneath the AEMA this entire time since 2023. It's been 2 years since we got this close underneath the AEMA into the wait a minute zone. And that happened last month. We did not get out of it. In fact, we made another low on the monthly. Not good. Not good enough. So what do I see happening here? Well, it's likely that we get some price action off of this 21 EMA on the monthly. Well, that would mean where would the price action go if it went back up? Well, you're capped off a little bit here around 98,500 so far on the monthly. That's going to come down in about a day and some change. When that next candle closes, you're going to get a remake of the lines. They're going to kind of tighten a little bit here. You're going to see this 21 EMA and this AEMA get a little bit closer together. And that's going to show us where our first little ceiling is of where the price action may stop. What I think may end up happening is we may see a head and shoulders form right here, where you see the price action sort of dance up here. See the price action start to dance, come back toward that. I'll make this green. Come back toward this AEMA up here again off that 21 EMA. And once that happens, that's trouble. That head and shoulders pattern would be quite bearish. From there, you have a defined head and shoulders. Then it's a matter of, can it hang on or not? Well, more often than not, these things do not hang on. More often than not, when a head and shoulders forms, it fails. I don't want to see that happen, but it is what it is. So if your head and shoulders forms out and you tag that AEMA again, that's likely going to trail down that way, you're in trouble. Now you're looking at failing the 21 EMA. Failing the 21 EMA happens to be right about where that neckline would be that I drew in green right there. You get under that neckline and it is a long, slow fall from grace that aims back toward this $70,000 level first. Now what happens from there? Hard to say. Do we bounce from there? Usually not. Usually there's two downward moves for each head and shoulders pattern. All right. So first downward move may come down to 70 and fail and then come back up and fail more. Or we may see a failure down to like the $80,000 range. We'll see. Hard to say exactly right now, but you're going to get at least two failures. That could be 1, 2 right here. Or we could see this just being number 1, and then we get another run up and another stab down for number 2. That would be our second drop. That's a classic head and shoulders pattern with two falls afterwards. All right, it happens all the time. And that they can go all the way down to the 1 minute chart and find that kind of stuff. And my target would be all the way down at the 50 moving average, wherever that thing ended up landing. That's a long, long way down there. And obviously that's the monthly chart. So we're way zoomed out still. Down to the weekly. Now, weekly still pinching here, and you're still riding the 100 moving average, but we've seen a lot of these fail recently. We've seen a lot of 100 moving averages where the price slips under and then just gets really ugly. We've also seen some assets bounce off this 100 moving average and start making another run back up, using it as support. As you see so far, she's used it as support, but it has done nothing more than use it as support. It has not bounced. It's boiling still. If you pull up the Bollinger Bands, which will help show us volatility, you'll see that we're inside of the bands, but they're nowhere near tight. That Bollinger Band line is way up there in the midline, right at about 103. That's going to slowly work its way down toward 100. That takes us from that big monthly chart at about 98,000 some change and a Bollinger Band line of around 100 and some change. That tells us where our next ceiling very well may be, or the next level that we need to break out of. Won't be easy. In fact, it will be quite difficult. And again, you can kind of see that head and shoulders forming up there. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then neckline down here. All right. Come back up, failing, down below the neckline, something like that. All right. Again, I don't care good or bad. I show charts, whether they look good or they look bad or they feel good or they feel bad. None of that matters to me. It's always going to be about facts, never about fiction on here, never about how I feel, never about because. I just stick with what I stick with, and I try to be as honest as I can about it. So here's the daily chart. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. Here's the Bollinger Bands on the daily. As you see, they are squeezing in. When you see Bollinger Bands like this squeezing in, that tells you that volatility is incoming. The price is boiling sideways and consolidating in such a way that eventually a decision has to be made. What's going to happen here? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Well, seeing as how it's stuck under that midline right there in blue, I lean toward down until I see a break of that. Let me show you something else regarding that. Here's our levels of shorts, all marked in red on those horizontal lines, also with Bollinger Bands up right here, and this little short-term uptrend line that we've got going right now as we speak. If we flip this to linear mode, you'll see that scrolling back here, I can take the Bollinger Bands off. You've already seen that they're tight. You can see that we have had from the top a hit there, a hit here, and now as we sit, we are boiling right at the edge of this wedge. Are we broken out? Because this candle right here, boy, was that a gnarly, ugly candle. That is a terrible looking candle right here. This red candle that you see right here is an inverted hammer. An inverted hammer means no. Yet today we are bullish engulfing that thing. Tough to call here. Looks like it doesn't want to give up immediately. And in fact, when I see something like this, it leads me to think that we may have a higher time frame move happening here. And if that's the case, we have a higher time frame move happening. Great. Problem, don't exactly see anything happening just yet. She's still stuck boiling sideways. And if I flip on the 821 EMA and our other stuff, she's stuck. Ran up and tagged the 50 moving average. Aggressive rejection. Don't like that. Matter of fact, it looks like it's going to get stuck under the 50 moving average, in my opinion. We'll see what happens with that, but I think that's highly likely and more likely than not. If you look at your oscillators, here is your RSI slowly working up, but still nominal and dead in the center of trading zone. Here's your MACD, slow volume, but still working toward the midline. Could be worse. Really no help, kind of neutral still. Ichimoku cloud. As you see, running into the bottom of the cloud now, hasn't gotten through anything, still 4 out of 4 no. Sorry, not good enough. I can't yet. So, if you're asking me, what do I think about the state of crypto? Boy, it's rough. Bitcoin's down and downtrending and showing weakness. Nearly every single altcoin showing weakness and big down. Your total market cap, 1, 2, and 3, showing big down. Others' dominance showing down. Bitcoin dominance continues to go up while the price goes down. That's bad. A lot of negative to report. Also, fear greed index has been extreme fear for 5 sessions in a row. It's been into extreme fear for longer than any time since 2020, which is interesting. And coming up on a year that should be bearish, I wonder, do we get the opposite reaction that we got this year? Do we get a big bullish sentiment? Well, I don't know. We don't have anything proven just yet. I need an 821 close over the daily. I need to see a big bounce back on the weekly. And we're going to look at some altcoins now here, and you'll see that they are just as bad, if not worse, as you go down the list. So, state of crypto is rough right now, but it is what it is. Can't change anything. I just go with the flow. We throw in the words because and this, that. You can't tell me why because you don't really know. You're just speculating. You can't tell me that it's this business or that business or this reason or that reason. You don't have any proof of that. Everything that you're going to show me is subjective, not objective. And then when I say something about what is subjective, you're likely to argue with me and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. I'm going to say the same thing about you. So you're at an impasse. And when that happens, well, I immediately default back to the data every single time. So let's look at some altcoins real quick, and we'll stroll through those. And then we'll be done. Final stream of 2025. I hate it sucks like this. I really wished we had something to celebrate about. Man, sucks. You guys remember for a long time, used to jump on here and have a whiskey, have a good time, enjoy things. Well, there are 5 people watching. Drinking alone is a sign of alcoholism. I don't drink alone. So anyway, let's go through some altcoins. I did Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum's a little worse than Bitcoin. Why do I say that? Well, here you go. Still stuck under the 821 EMA, still stuck under the trend perfectly. You can kind of zoom back here and see the failure. Touch, 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 fail, 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 no bounce. No bounce. We haven't seen a breakout yet. And until we see a breakout, I just don't believe it. As well as a breakout, at the same time, you would be snapping through the 821 EMA and the 50 moving average, which hasn't happened. Sucks. You know, I was wrong for a couple months this year, but since I changed my tone, it's been bearish, 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 bearish. We've been right about all that the whole time. So it's interesting how people like to say you've been wrong. Fine, I've been wrong. I was wrong at the beginning of the year for sure. What about the other 9 months of being correct about a nothing burger or down? Right? We're going to talk about it? Probably not. You'd rather just not admit defeat and blame something? I get it. Is what it is. I'm not going to be able to change anybody's opinions on here. I've learned that a long time ago. I'm just going to do what I do and hope people listen. You're probably not, but whatever. All the way up to 7 people now.
Come on, man.
Killing it.
Bruh.
I think I got laughter. Hang on. No, here you go. That's a little better. What's up? What's up, D Flavor? Good to see you, brother. All right, that's Ethereum. I don't see anything worth noting here. Aside from a short-term uptrend, still stuck under the 821.50 and trend line. Got to do more than that. I just don't have the juice to say, oh my God, here we go. I'm looking at Solana. So Solana's a little different. Like, you could argue this one is broken out. Problem like Bitcoin yesterday, that's a terrible candle. And you're still under the 821 EMA and the 50 moving average. While you might be on the good side of the trend line, you don't have anything else positive here. Still stuck like Chuck. Need more. How about Binance Coin? Boom. Binance Coin looks better than those. Problem, even on the ones that look better like Binance Coin, you're still stuck underneath that 200 moving average and under the 50 moving average, even though you're in the wait a minute zone and just about to get over the 21 EMA, you're still stuck in the mud as far as resistance goes. You've got 2 more lines to get over here. If you get through the one it's getting through now, again, this is going to be tough. It won't be easy to get through. 821 rolling over very aggressively, pointing back toward the 50 moving average. Appreciate it, Jennifer Jeans. Good to see you. But again, still stuck consolidating. That's what I kind of think a lot of stuff's going to do here. Going to cruise for a bit. After the new year as well. I think things are going to have to find their footing. We could have an opportunity for some up, but man, it's supposed to be a bearish year next year. We'll see if that changes or not. I don't know. You know, you can argue monetary policy needs to change. Well, that's fine. Argue all you want, but we've seen monetary policy change and prices continue to go down and sideways. While the stock market continues to go up, precious metals continue to go up. Crypto, no, not so much. Is what it is. Binance Coin, I'm waiting to see get over that 200 moving average, which is about 883. And while you could buy lower, it's safer to buy above the 200 moving average rather than below. So prove it to me. Do a little bit better. We can talk about it. Let's go to the most overhyped coin in the history of crypto, XRP. Yep. Riddles, hopium, fraudsters, cartoonists, liars, gather around. Here's some data for you. So still trending down, still no breakout. Your oscillators are starting to point back upward, but still no really big momentum to get us moving here. Here's your 821 EMA for XRP. As you see, you're still stuck under the 8, still kind of trying to make a new high, but still stuck maybe making lows. Not good enough. Here's your pivot points. You're still stuck under S1. These do reset in 2 days. So by the time we do our next live stream, this will have changed. But for now, no thank you. Here's your Ichimoku cloud. You're still 4 out of 4 no. What does that mean? We have 4 check marks or 4 X's you can make with the Ichimoku cloud. Here's how they go. Number 1, is the lag line above the candles or below the candles? Do these in the order that you'd like. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to do them one through 4 here. The lag line is this white line on the back. Is it above the candles or below the candles? It needs to be above them. Unfortunately, the lag line is below them. That's not good enough. Your conversion line and your baseline. Your baseline is in red and the conversion line is in blue. See them right there? The blue needs to be over the red. Is that the case here? Afraid not. Not going to get it. That's 0 for 2. Third, the cloud. You see it right here. Is it red on the end or green on the end? That's red. Guess what color it needs to be? Green. That's 0 for 3. Last but not least, the price. Is the price above the cloud or below the cloud? Sorry, folks, that's underneath the cloud. 4 out of 4 no.
Damn. Bruh.
Sorry, that's not going to get it. Not good enough to me. Not good enough for me. Not good enough for anybody. I need to see some improvement here. Until then, the risk is higher than the reward. Remove all of your feelings. Remove all of the calls. Remove all the I think this deal, I think that deal. Government's going to do this. Government's going to do that. If all of that's true, then the price will change and go up where you think it should be. And if it's not true, you're going to continue to get what you got happening right now, which is a whole big bushel of nothing. Sorry. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Sorry. It can change. It has not changed. And until it changed, I appreciate it, Big D. Thank you, Matoshi. It has been a shitty year, brother. Until things change, I just got to keep it real with you, man. It ain't good enough. Ain't good enough. When things change, I'm happy to report them. I think a lot of you guys think I'm a hater when I say certain things or do certain things, and it's just not the case. I'm always going to keep it real no matter what, which means let's keep it real. All right. 2025 was a massive failure for me. It really was. It was a failure more for just crypto. It was a failure of the charts. It was a failure of engagement. I tried multiple different business deals. I had multiple people screw me over. I had multiple people back out on me and renege on me when I thought I had a deal cut. I had multiple people tell me one thing and lie to me and do another. Oh, that really pissed me off. I had multiple people just back out without asking me anything. Why bring me on and consult with me if you don't want to talk to me? Really real world. 2025 taught me a lot about business. It taught me a lot about friendships. It taught me a lot about what I thought were friendships. I learned that while you influencers may pretend to be nice guys and pretend to be friends, you're not. You're out here for yourself. You really don't care about anyone but you. Fine. Ever since 2021, I went out of my way to put people over. Multiple influencers, multiple people in the space, I put over. What does that mean? Well, I gave you a helping hand without asking for anything. You guys know I've said this a million times. I don't take deals. You can offer me coins, I'm not taking them. You can offer me a deal and say, if you do this, we'll give you this much of the sales. Won't do it. Sorry. Not how I roll. I've turned down damn near $1 million in deals. All so I could say, I don't do that. So I could be as honest and open as possible and be uninfluenced by bullshit. Problem. I would be $1 million richer if I just bullshitted everybody. Isn't that crazy? What's really interesting is my engagement dead flat. I gained no people this year. None. Only lost people. I can go through and find influencers on X and YouTube and everywhere else who bullshitted people and their numbers steady up. What does that tell you about the space? Well, to me, it tells me this space is not mature enough. It's not ready. It's not even close. Not even close. You'd rather have clickbait and bullshit fed to you than reality. And rather than be able to remove your emotions and go, well, that guy seems like a dick. Instead go, Damn, the truth hurts, doesn't it? You can't do that yet. You just rather say that guy's a dick. That's fine. I've been called worse. I've been called worse. It's whatever. I hope things change, and they haven't. But hey, is what it is. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. I am gonna be making some changes in 2026. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go down this path of doing these times and sitting in this office, and it's created psychological problems as far as antisocial stuff, and I don't like it. I don't like the way, for what it's worth, you guys know me, I don't like hearing say the word feels. It doesn't feel good, right? I was way happier before, and my happiness reflects directly toward my family. I don't like that. You know what I mean? You guys might not understand that, and I get that, but the days of working with other influencers are over. That was a joke. It doesn't work. No one cares. No one wants to be honest. Everybody's just looking out for themselves. Everybody just wants you to give, and take from you to them. And then when you think you got a deal, people are so quick to just back out, walk away, and say F you, which is incredible. I learned that people want what I have and are willing to screw me over to get it. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild world, dude. I hope things change in 2026, and I hope that what I think is going to happen, which will be bearishness, turns around and we see something different. All right? I'm going to start the next stream a little different. We'll try things to change around and see if we can't get a different look on things, a different reality. But for now, I'm just going to say what it is and do what it is and keep it on. Really terrible year. Terrible financially for almost everybody in crypto. Terrible business-wise for me. Terrible mental-wise for me. Can't get a whole lot worse than 2025. It can get worse. It can't get a whole lot worse. So we'll see what 2026 brings. I hope it's good for everybody. And I hope everyone has a good new year. I hope everyone gets to wash off the crazy and start fresh. I think we all need it for what it's worth. I appreciate every single one of you guys watching on here. To the 10 of you who made it over on YouTube, big shout out to all 10 of you guys. D Flavor says, appreciate the 110% honesty. You're only real one in this space, Keith. I appreciate it. I'm not the only real one. There are other ones out there. They're just few and far between, and that sucks. Appreciate it, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Charts Can't Lie. Appreciate you guys being here, man. Appreciate it, Matoshi, Big D, Crypto Zen, Jeremy, Philip. Appreciate you guys over there. Over on Rumble, appreciate you, Bill Childers. Appreciate you, B. Henry, bro. Thanks, guys. Yeah, man, we'll end it off there. I don't know, dude. I'll say this for the last try, and then we'll try different sayings and different stuff to start 2026. But thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. Let's make the best of our todays the worst of our tomorrows. And last but not least, nobody else told you today. Keith will tell you Keith loves you. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see all you guys next time, next year, 4 o'clock. Thank you. Till then, sky's the limit. I'm out. Y'all be good, man. Peace.